The North Dakota State Bison are in the beginning of their tough stretch of Missouri Valley Conference games. They hit the road this past weekend for the first time all season as they traveled to Cedar Falls to take on the Panthers of Northern Iowa. Pick it up right away in the first quarter as Eli Dunn hits his wide receiver Brilly Moore for a 64-yard touchdown run, and he's off to the races. Nobody's going to catch him. The Panthers take an early 7-0 lead. Marcus Weimiller, he avoids a bunch of arm tackles as he takes it in from 8 yards out. The Panthers would go up 14-0 with just over halfway into the first quarter. The next Bison possession, Easton Stick hits Darius Shepard for a 20-yard touchdown. The Bison trail the game 14-7. Later on in the second quarter, Eli Dunn drops back to pass, and he gets picked off by Marquise Bridges. And Bridges looks like he's going to try to take it all the way. He's got a whole bunch of Bison in front of him, but the wide receiver catches him from behind, sets up with the Bison in Northern Iowa territory. It's a couple plays later, Easton Stick hit Lance Dunn for a 3-yard touchdown run. The Bison are tied at 14-all. Later in the second quarter, Bruce Anderson takes it around the left edge. He rushes for 25 yards as the defender pushes him out of bounds. That would set up an 8-yard touchdown run from Lance Dunn. Easton Stick, here you see, pitches it to Dunn, and the Bison are tied at 21. And just before halftime, Northern Iowa would kick a 32-yard field goal and take a 24-21 lead at the half. Later on in the third quarter, Eli Dunn dropping back to pass, and there's a whole bunch of Bison there, and it's a sandwich at the quarterback as senior Greg Menard gets a sack there, gets credited with a half a sack there. Easton Stick then drops back to pass. He hits Bruce Anderson on a little wheel route as he takes it 75 yards for a touchdown. The Bison are up 35-31, looking to go up in the fourth quarter, looking to go up a little more. Here you see Easton Stick trying to take it up the middle. He gets a little help from Lance Dunn, a 1-yard touchdown run. The Bison would go on to win 56-31 as they put a nail in the coffin. And that was the first time all season Northern Iowa has given up a fourth quarter point. As Bison had 344 yards on the ground, Easton Stick was 9 of 15 for 179 yards and 6 total touchdowns. Darius Shepard continues to shine big as he had 6 receptions for 92 yards and 2 touchdowns. The Bison will once again be on the road as they travel to Macomb to take on Western Illinois. The Leathernecks are currently allowing 31 points per game, while the Bison offense is averaging 40 points per game and has only been held under 30 points once this season. This is the first outdoor game the Bison will be playing, and this year, something that head coach Chris Kleiman is well aware of.
We need to get outside a little bit. I think the temperature, and I think it was 84 or something in Macomb today, so it's a pretty far cry from what it is here. But we need to more from the respect of wind, and if there is some precipitation, we need to get out there and practice in it a little bit.
Over the last 3 seasons, the Jackrabbits of South Dakota State have advanced to the NCAA tournament, and experts believe that will happen again, as South Dakota State is yet again favored to be the Summit League regular season champions. They are followed by South Dakota, Denver, Purdue, Fort Wayne, and NDSU to round out the top 5. Oral Roberts is 6th. North Dakota, who is new to the Summit League this year, is predicted to finish 7th, with Omaha and Western Illinois predicted to finish 8th and 9th. NDSU had 1 player named to the preseason second Summit League team. Junior guard Tyson Ward was voted a preseason All-Summit League team. Ward is NDSU's top returning scorer from a season ago. He averaged 12 points per game last year and led the team in rebounds with 6 rebounds per game a year ago. NDSU will begin their season with an exhibition game on November 1st. They will open up the regular season on November 6th at New Mexico State. There is no surprise that South Dakota State is picked to win the Summit League in women's basketball yet again, followed by South Dakota and Western Illinois. Rounding out the top 5 is Oral Roberts and Denver. Summit League newcomer North Dakota is predicted to finish 6th, just ahead of North Dakota State, who is projected to finish 7th, with Omaha and Purdue rounding out the standings. North Dakota State will host an exhibition against Minnesota Duluth on October 30th, and then 1 week later they will open up their season against Mayville State, followed by 2 more home games before going on the road to take on the Badgers of Wisconsin. After losing to Summit League preseason favorite Denver, the NDSU women's soccer team headed north to take on their rivals North Dakota. This is the first time these 2 teams will encounter since UND joined the Summit League. After playing a scoreless first half, the Fighting Hawks were able to find the back of the net with a Katie Moeller goal 20 minutes later, Hannah Norman was able to get the Bison on the board and tie the game up at 1. It didn't take nearly as long for the Bison to get the second goal, as they were able to get the game-winning goal from Mally O'Brien in the 77th minute. Next up for the Bison, they host league-leading South Dakota State on Sunday at Dakota Field. The MLB Playoff divisional rounds have come to an end, and here is what we know about the championship series so far. The American League Championship Series is going to be a rematch between the Boston Red Sox and the Houston Astros. Game 1 is scheduled for Saturday, October 13th. This game can be seen on TBS. Starting pitchers for both teams are Chris Sale for the Red Sox and Justin Verlander for the Houston Astros. In the National League, the championship series is set. It will be the Milwaukee Brewers making their first appearance in 2011 versus the Los Angeles Dodgers, who advanced to the World Series last year. Game 1 will be on Friday, October 12th at Miller Park. The Dodgers will be sending Clayton Kershaw to the mound in Game 1, and the Brewers are sending Gio Gonzalez. In the regular season series, the Dodgers were able to beat the Brewers 4-3. And we know a few weeks ago NDSU could have game day with South Dakota State, but now there's rumblings of game day coming back next week for Illinois State. Who knows? It'd be nice to get game day once again.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Eric. After the break, how dogs locally and nationally are breaking down barriers. Right after we come back.